So Trump did this thing where he went to a non-union shop and had a bunch of people who weren't UAW workers stand outside and go, like UAW for Trump, and they're not actually union members, right? So then he comes and he records this. This is President Trump's message to America's auto workers. It's longer than some of his others, 5 minutes. Agenda 47. I'm going to fix this so quickly.
What's happening to our auto workers is an absolute disgrace and an
He's disgraced right out of the gate.
Outrage beyond belief.
Oh, it's an outrage. Outrageous. There we go. All right. That means he knows he's full of shit. Let's just be honest there. Okay, here we go.
Auto workers are getting totally ripped off by crooked Joe Biden and also their horrendous leadership, because these people are allowing our country to do these electric vehicles that very few people want.
They're allowing them to do these electric vehicles that very few people. I would like an electric car, by the way. I'm waiting for the right one. I was all ready to get the Cybertruck until Elon Musk showed himself to be such an asshole. And so I'm leaning another way. But I think, there's also the possibility of a hydrogen vehicle next year. So, and my car's still running. I'm going to get one as soon as my car dies, but it still runs great. So,
and it's a mandate. So you'll ultimately.
It's not a mandate.
Be forced to drive in a car that goes for an hour and then you have to have it recharged. I hope you don't.
Jesus Christ, where does this asshole live? At the bottom of a roller coaster hill?
Don't want to go very far away. Biden.
Yeah, the Rivians made in Illinois. All right. I like them. They look good.
Has imposed the outlandish requirement that 67% of all new vehicles must be electric in less than 10 years. That means Michigan and places that make cars, you can forget.
Michigan and other places that make cars. I don't know what they are, but
about it.
Yeah, Trump's volume on this is low. This is their own little fucking thing. It's as loud as I can make. I'm going to see if I try
to get your union working, because you can forget about it. Those cars are all going to
get
be
your
made
union.
in China. According to the UAW president himself, one auto company CEO used the word brutality.
Did he?
Over 40 times in a single conversation to describe Joe Biden. I call him Crooked Joe because he's the most corrupt president in history. He's also the most incompetent.
So he's an incompetent crook, which means he's accidentally the good guy.
But Joe Biden's cruel and foolish electric vehicle mandate.
I call it cruelish.
That's how bad this policy is. Your union heads know it, but the union bosses don't want to do anything about it because they're not leaders. But you know who's voting for me? The people in the union.
No.
Yeah, the union heads and the Crooked Joe keep using the phrase fair transition. There's no fair transition. First of all, people don't want the electric car.
Yeah, they do.
And the ones that want it should get it. But we want to have all forms of transportation. And
yeah, but 60-40 seems reasonable in consumer commuter vehicles.
All forms of motorization.
Motorization. Thank God. Run that by me again, dipshit. What was that? All forms of motorization. That's good.
And the Crooked Joe keep using the phrase fair transition. There's no fair transition. First of all, people don't want the electric car. And the ones that want it should get it. But we want to have all forms of transportation and all forms of motorization to describe this unnecessary forced transition to electric vehicles. But there's no such thing.
Understand that if we put this in black and white, made it all grainy and scratchy, this dickhead would be arguing about these horseless carriages that they're going to make us drive, and they're setting all these rules for why horses can't be on the street anymore.
Thing is fair transition that destroys over 100,000 auto manufacturing jobs. It'll be much more than that.
Yeah, because I've met these people and they're too stupid. Electric cars are like computers, and these people are grease monkeys. They're dumb.
Waste tens of billions of dollars that should be going to the workers and makes new cars entirely unaffordable for the middle class. That's a transition to hell. You're going to hell.
Electric hell. It's like a Judas Priest record.
And your bosses are leading you right down the tubes. You shouldn't pay your fees.
So hell is somewhere in the tubes or at the end of the tube?
They get
which tube? Because if there are multiple tubes, I don't want to be accidentally in the one tube that's a dead end.
these big fees from all of their workers.
Dues. They're called dues, dum-dum. But please, go on about how you know unions.
And it doesn't matter how bad they are, they'll endorse a Democrat, even though the Democrat's selling you down the tubes.
You're selling you down the... I thought they were just going down the tubes anyways because of the... I guess somebody's got to pay somebody. But why would a communist sell something? Never mind.
Both the UAW bosses and the big three auto executives should be screaming at the top of their lungs. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Just should be screaming, I'm ashamed of myself, and just rending their garments. And yeah.
Demanding that Joe Biden cancel his brutal electric vehicle mandate.
Oh, which doesn't exist.
Before it destroys the entire U.S. auto sector. If the union bosses and the CEOs...
Can you tell that this motherfucker is owned by the Saudis and wants to keep America on the oil tit as long as possible?
Refuse to fight back against crooked Joe Biden by forcing him to repeal this disastrous electric car scheme, then you will know they're not pro-worker, they're not on your side.
Because you're too stupid to assemble one of these
They've got some deals going for themselves. And I'm telling you, you shouldn't pay those dues. You should not pay your dues because they're selling you to hell. You're going to be going to hell.
You're going to hell in the tubes. It's tube hell. It's down the tubes, somewhere in the tubes. There's a cul-de-sac that's like hell.
You're not going to have any jobs.
Well, I don't think so. No. In hell, one of the characteristics of hell is that you have a job but not a career.
All those cars are going to be made in China. Every one of them.
No. No, they're not.
You can forget it, Michigan. You can forget it, South Carolina. You can forget it, everybody.
Yeah, forget it, everybody. You guys are too stupid and incapable.
All of those cars are going to be made in China.
Which, by the way, he said the exact same thing about Japanese cars. And there's like Toyota plants in every red state. And Honda plants. And Hyundai plants.
Sit on liquid gold, and we're getting rid of combustion engines. And they sit on all of the other materials that you need for the batteries. They're going to make all those cars. We're not going to make any of them. So,
yeah, American workers are just too dumb.
To every auto worker, I stand in total solidarity with you in your fight against Joe Biden's job-killing Green New Deal insanity. It's insanity.
It is insanity. It's crazy. It's green and it's new and it's a deal. And I know deals better than anybody who had a book ghost written for them.
When I am your president, I will deliver higher wages for auto workers. I will protect your jobs. I will end Joe Biden's catastrophic electric vehicle mandate. And by the way, if you want an electric car, you're going to get it.
Yeah, you're going to get it from China. They're going to be making lots of them in China. I'm going to make a deal in China. And China's going to send over all the electric cars. You can have 5 electric cars. They'll all be from China. And we'll be over here making fucking tractors.
But you're going to be able to get all other types of cars.
From China.
Types of vehicles that you want.
All of them? I want one that runs on unicorn farts and dreamy dreams. And I know Don Jr. wants a car that runs on kitten tears. I've heard that.
And on day one, you're going to be back in business with me, and those factories are going to start opening up again. Remember, when I got elected...
They're not closing down.
I told you all about this in the campaign.
Yeah, and nobody knew what the fuck you were talking about.
When I got elected, hardly a car company built outside of this country.
What?
I stopped it. They didn't go to Mexico anymore. I said...
What the shit is he talking about?
If you go to Mexico, I'm putting a big tariff. You'll make a car, you're going to have a 25% tariff if you send that car back into the United States. I stopped it. Well, right now they're doing it again, worse than ever before. We lost 32% of our industry to Mexico prior to my getting there. And we lost almost nothing. In fact, we were taking back our industry.
No, we weren't. We were reshoring factories at the fastest clip in human history. None of that happened. Tell us about the fucking Carrier plant or Foxconn or the fucking air conditioner company.
But now it's going again. I'll straighten it out. But you have to vote for Trump. You have to vote for Trump. You can't listen to these union guys that get paid a lot of money and they get wined and dined in Washington.
He's jealous now. This is one of the, he's pulling a Dershowitz.
They know that electric cars are no good in terms of our workers.
Why?
So vote for Republicans, but vote for Trump. Because if we don't win this election, our country, not only in terms of
is going to hell or down the tubes into hell, going to tube hell.
Auto workers, our country will go to hell. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We will go to hell. You're in hell. It's hell now, and you will also be in hell, but like there'd be a worse hell than the hell you're in now. And there's like layers of hell, like Dante talked about. He's this waiter that works at the McDonald's near Mar-a-Lago. He cooks up my fish delights extra crispy. Good Lord.